Hello, Wonderhussy here, standing at the side of another interstate highway, looking for another hot spring. I just heard about this place for the first time the other day, and frankly, I'm astonished I never heard of it before because, well, I've driven on this particular stretch of interstate countless times, and I never had any idea there was a hot spring lurking just down the side of it along the banks of this river. So I just parked right there off the side of the highway, and I'm walking down this gravel kind of, well, I guess maybe it used to be a road, now it's kind of a trail. I think there used to be some kind of power plant down here or something back in the day. I'm not sure. Now it's just strictly recreational use, and there's no signs saying no trespassing. It just says use trail at your own risk. So, well, I'm gonna use the trail at my own risk. I don't have a ton of time. I'm actually on my way to find a place to camp, but somebody just told me about this place yesterday, and I thought, well, gosh, I'm in the area. How can I not at least check it out? And it is a beautiful hike through a gorgeous high Sierra Canyon on a beautiful October day. Look at that. Look at the light on the mountains right now. Just an absolutely beautiful time of day to take a little walk at the side of the highway. Anyway, I'm following directions that I read on a blog post about this hot spring, and this blogger was pretty thorough with the details, which I was very surprised because these hot spring people don't really like you talking about where hot springs are, and so I'm always very circumspect in my own videos. But apparently this blogger isn't as worried as I am about getting his ass beat. Look, here's the beautiful river that I'm walking alongside. The hot spring is on the banks of this river somewhere. I think a little farther down past this, well, I don't know if this is an abandoned power plant or if it's still operational or what, but it looks like there's an informational sign up ahead, and maybe that'll give us some answers. I'm not going to take a picture of the whole sign because, well, it gives a little bit too much information away, but it says that this river is an excellent source of hydroelectric power generation, and there's 4 power plants on this river, and they're all owned by this water authority. In the early 1900s, these hydroelectric plants were the sole source of electricity for Reno. Okay, that gives you a clue as to where we are. And Sparks. Anyway, there's 3 working plants downstream from here, but the plant that we're at here is the oldest of the 4, and it was built in 1899 to provide electricity to the Comstock mines. Okay, those were the silver mines over there in Virginia City, you know, the big silver rush. That's what this power plant was originally built for. Now I guess it's decommissioned, and, well, there's other power plants down the river, but it's still sitting here, and it actually looks really interesting. Look at that, man. All these old buildings just sitting here. I mean, there's barbed wire on the fence, but it doesn't look like people try to get in there and mess with them too much. Look over here, you can see, well, you can see that this is a pretty swiftly moving river, so it stands to reason that they could generate some good hydroelectric power from all that energy moving through that water. Look at that, beautiful. Oh, look over here. There's a little kind of pathway running just alongside the fence of the old decommissioned hydroelectric plant. This could be kind of interesting. Wow, look at this. You can see down below. I guess that's where the water flowed into the power plant to generate the hydroelectric power. It's all fenced off now. We can't get in the actual building, which is a real shame because I bet it's super interesting in there. Let's see. I think according to the blog post I was reading about this hot spring, I think we need to hike up the hill on the other side of this power plant. Over here on this side, we're supposed to go up this little trail. Look at this. This is wild. I mean, first of all, yes, the foliage is absolutely beautiful, the rocks, but then there's all this weird industrial decay strewn among the beautiful fall foliage and the awesome rocks. And call me crazy, but I think it adds to the beauty in a weird way. Like, this is a gorgeous canyon, but I feel like all this weird decaying infrastructure adds to it in a bizarre way. Okay, according to this blog post, we just have to keep walking up this hill. Boy, they really don't want you getting into that old power plant. Look at that razor wire. Yikes. Well, lucky for them, I'm not interested in, well, actually I am interested in sneaking into an old abandoned power plant, but I'm more interested in trying to get to this hot spring. Really an interesting sight though. Now we're gonna go up these stairs and go across some kind of bridge. Oh, I guess this bridge just goes over these two giant tunnels. It has something to do with the hydroelectric power generation, I guess. Wow, look at all that steel cable wrapped around these. These are wooden. Oh my goodness, look at that. So it's these two tunnels, I guess, for lack of a better word, made out of wooden 2x4s wrapped in some kind of steel cable, and they go all the way down from that building up there next to the interstate, down under this bridge we're standing on, and then all the way into that building there at the bottom next to the river. Very interesting, but not so funny. I'm looking for the hot spring. Okay, I'll just keep going down this trail, see what I find. Looks like this is a pretty well-used trail. I've seen lots of footprints, bike tracks. I guess it's a popular hiking and biking trail, not just used by hot springers. But I mean, if it's on a popular trail, then, well, I can't imagine but that this hot spring is pretty popular too. There weren't any other cars parked where I parked, and I think that's the only place you can park to get here, so fingers crossed, we'll have the hot spring all to ourselves. Oh, I feel like I better go into hot spring hunter mode again. Crikey, I'm in search of another hot spring. Oh God, my Australian accent is terrible. Never mind. Oh, what's this? We're coming to some kind of weird infrastructure. Oh, wow. This is wild. This is all part of that hydroelectric plant, but these old wooden timbers look pretty old-timey. I guess that's supporting some kind of aqueduct, viaduct. It all goes back over to where that building was, the one that those two big tunnels were coming down out of. So I don't know, if you know anything about hydroelectric power generation, then you probably know exactly what's going on here at this site. But to me, this just looks like real old railroad trestle or real old mining timbers. This hike, or this trail, is already awesome. I mean, I feel like I would take this walk just to check out the old abandoned power plant and the beautiful fall foliage. I mean, look at this. That's a lot of wood that went into that. I wonder if that's still in use? I can't imagine that it is. I mean, what do I know? Anyway, I better check that blog post and see what it says to do once you pass the power plant. Okay, I just checked the blog post and it doesn't really have like super detailed directions from this point. But it does say, well, the next thing he says is that there's a railroad track running along the other side of the river. And I do see that. There's the Union Pacific Railroad grade. Oh, wait, what's this? Hold on. I think I found the hot spring. Could it really be that easy? By Jove, I think it is. Look at that. It's a boggy little trough covered in a tarp. But it does look like there's a good flow of hot water coming out of it over there. And what's more, someone even left a rubber ducky. Okay, well, according to the blog post, it's not really that warm of water. I think, well, I feel like the blog guy said it was only about 80 degrees, but I just talked to a friend of mine earlier today who lives in the area, and he's been here, and he said he thought it was more like 102. Let's see. It's cool that the regulars here keep this thing covered with a tarp, because whatever heat there is in it, this tarp helps keep it in. Let's see. Oh, so it's a pretty nice tub. It's lined with a silver tarp. It's very clean. Oh, and it's warm. In fact, it's definitely warm enough for a quick soak. And since there's nobody else around, well, I won't even need to wear my magic bikini. Okay, so what I ended up doing was, well, there's like a big 2x4 attached to one side of the tarp, and I think that's meant so that you can peel it back easier. So I went ahead and covered the spot back up that I first peeled off. But look how nice and clear this water is, and there's a really good flow coming out of this pipe. Oh, I bet it's gonna feel amazing. Oh my God, yes. Oh, this actually feels wonderful. This is a huge bonus. I'll be honest. Like I said, I'm headed to find a place to camp, but I had to pass by the freeway exit where this thing was supposedly located anyway, so I thought, oh, okay, let me just go down there and bang it out a quickie. I didn't expect it to be very soakable. I either thought it was going to be trashed or muddy or not warm enough. And well, I'll be honest, this could stand to be a degree or two warmer, but it's pretty nice. I mean, the water is crystal clear. Look at that. This is pure hot water coming from the bowels of the earth, and it sure does feel good. Let me get my thermometer. I actually brought my thermometer. I'm curious to see once and for all how hot this hot spring really is. Let's see. 94. Oh. What about this? Oh, 96. Okay, so it looks like it's about 96 degrees coming out of the pipe here, and then by the time it fills up this trough, it's only 94, which I'll be honest, that's not really hot enough for me. And I just stood up to do those thermometer readings, and when I got out of the water, I was pretty chilly. And I didn't bring my bathrobe like a silly goose. I left it in my car. So getting out of this thing isn't gonna be that pleasant. This is actually a really nice little soak. I mean, I can imagine on a hot summer's day, this is October 11th, I think, today. So if I was here like 2 months ago, oh my God, this would feel absolutely amazing. And then the river, remember, is just right over there. So there's probably a little trail going to it. You could do a really awesome cold plunge if you really wanted to cool off, and you could come back over here and get in the warmer water. Oh my God, it'd be amazing. It's a little chilly for right now. I mean, you can see we're kind of like mostly in the shade in this canyon now. If I was here earlier in the day when the sun was a little bit higher and this was in full sun, it would have been amazing. But unfortunately, I was at a different hot spring earlier today that was, well, I hate to say one hot spring is more amazing than another because, well, they're like children. You can't have a favorite. But this other hot spring I was at earlier today was really amazing. So would I come back here? Definitely. On a warmer day, I would totally come back here. It's real easy to get to. It's right off the highway now that I know where it is. Oh, look over here by the pipe. Somebody left a Polaroid picture right by the little rubber ducky. This is, looks like some dude soaking in these very same hot springs. Whoever you are, mystery man, I salute you. Oh, I forgot to take this little rubber ducky out and let him float around with me. Here you go, feller. Oh, he's either drunk or thirsty. He won't stay right side up. Well, unfortunately, it's getting late in the day and I need to move along to find a place to camp. So that means I gotta get out of this warm spring, and I don't have my bathrobe, and the water's not very hot to begin with. So it's really gonna take an act of willpower to get out of here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's not even any place to stand in the sun because this entire blasted canyon is in the shade right now. Oh, I didn't even bring a towel because I was in such a hurry to get here. I wasn't thinking straight. So now I have no means of drying off other than the old-fashioned way in the cold October air. Ooh. But I'd better get dressed because I did see some hikers come by. Okay. Time to leave this beautiful little riverside, highway side soak. But before we do that, since we're so close to this beautiful river, well, it would be a shame not to at least go down here and take a quick look and see what that's all about. Well, it almost looks like there's a little campsite there. I can't imagine they would let you camp here, and well, I guess it would be kind of noisy from all them cars rushing by overhead. But you would be at the side of this beautiful river. Oh my goodness. And you'd be at the side of all these weird industrial ruins from that old hydroelectric plant. Wow, overall, I give this place 5 stars. It's bizarre, it's beautiful, it had an abandoned power plant and a hot spring. What more can you ask for? Okay, I covered the hot spring back up with the tarp. exactly how I found it. I was gonna pick up some trash, but there's hardly any litter here. I mean, there's that rubber ducky and that Polaroid of that dude, but that's not really litter. I guess that's ambiance. So whoever comes and hangs out at this hot spring does a very good job taking care of it and maintaining it, especially for being right off the side of the friggin' interstate. You'd think it'd be way more trash than it was, but I found it pleasantly clean, and it was definitely a worthwhile break. Okay, but now I really gotta go find a place to camp tonight, because guess what? I gotta get up bright and early in the morning to go to another hot spring. Oh wait, hold everything. It looks like there might be another pool down here. I mean, right off the trail that goes back to where I parked, there's kind of this really steep embankment, but it's worn away. You can see people have come down here a lot over the years. And down at the bottom, look at that. There's like this secret little pool hidden in the trees. Oh my goodness. This looks like it, well, it looks real funky, but it looks like at one time people did soak here, because look how cool this is. Let me do wide angle for a minute. It's like this little natural round pool surrounded by reeds and trees and bushes. Really cozy down here. Oh my God, this pool would be amazing on a hot summer day. You're shaded by all these trees, but let's see if the water's warm at all. I mean, it's so scummy, I can't imagine that people go in here, but I'll stick a toe in. I'll take one for the team. Let's see. Oh my gosh, it is warm. Oh, look over there. You can see bubbles coming up from the hot gases coming out of the earth. Wow, a secret soak hidden in the bushes, and I almost walked right past it. Well, I would be tempted to go in here too in the interest of being thorough, but to be honest, it really wasn't that warm. I think it might not even be as warm as the other one I was already in, and I already went through all the misery of getting out of that one and getting dressed. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this little secret forest glen soak for another day, because like I said earlier in this video, well, I will be back, and when I come back, I'm hoping to do so in warmer weather, when I will definitely enjoy soaking in a shady little dell. Sorry, this hillside is slippery. Like that. Okay, now I'm really getting on the road to find a campsite. I gotta go.